they'll be calling you a groundhog every fucking day for 3,600 and fucking 17 fucking days. So I've learned my lesson. Too blind to see the writing on the wall, not ready for the fall. All we hear is Radio Lady Gaga. All we hear is Radio Goo Goo. I've learned and that the true activists, the true person who really accomplishes, the activist that wins, that really is tactical and really changes things, that really accomplishes, is going to get no funding. He's going to get no platform. The phony ones, they'll all have fucking plenty. And why? I'll tell you why I've learned this. Because donating to a cause has been turned into a dogma snuggie. Greenpeace, Sarah Club, whatever fucking money you're throwing at for basically nothingness, it's a dogma snuggie. It's a dogma burger. It's a feel-good comfort fucking thing. Keldicott fucking proved that to me many years ago. Writes the same worst. You ever read one of her books? They are horrid. Well, contemporary literature is horrid. So I want to get back to Spanish flu. I want to talk why, because Fukushima, and what about Kevin Blanch's accomplishments? Fuck. Where do I start? How about that we'd have a fucking nuclear reactor in Utah if it wasn't for me, Blue Castle. I'm the one that daggered that single-handedly. How about the fact that without Kevin Blanch, San Onofre was never going to shut down, and without that domino pushing down, Oyster Creek doesn't shut down, Indian Point doesn't shut down, none of these fuckers shut down. That's just the tip of the iceberg of my work. And that's a fact. It's an unarguable fucking fact. Even though we do have the depleted uranium here in Utah, if it wasn't for Kevin Blanch, you would have all the spent fuel sitting here in Utah. Fuck, I can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So, the new documentary, and this is important, PBS is going to have out, and Coyote's going to narrate. We all love his face. Speaking of Coyote, how Holbrook died, I remember there's a picture of me and my little girl at Anna's on 12th Street in Ogden with him, the old poet, the cowboy poet. The whole thing used to be in Ogden. And all those guys were here. Wilford Brimley, he's a Utahn, he used to always be here. I talked to him he was such an asshole, I hate to say it, but he was. Hal Holbrook was fucking nice as hell. Amazing. And so, I met Redford right here. I talked to him. I remember my girlfriend at the time, she was a waitress on 12th and freaking washing at the Sizzler, which they recently, talk about a story. That's the old Mount Fort Junior High. She called me on the phone. That was long before cell phones. And Robert Redford's in here. He's the environmentalist like you. Come meet him. Oh, God. I remember I got the creeps fucking then. Hardcore guy. His son died of fucking cancer. Screeches died. That's a heartbreaking one, by the way. All we hear is Radio Lady Gaga. All we hear is Radio Goo Goo Dolls. Come back down and I won't tell them your name. Scars are souvenirs. So, the documentary PBS is putting out Southern Utah. So, the cover-up, everybody babbles about it. I live it. My father died of fucking leukemia, acute blastic leukemia. I was given 2 months to live. I don't eat, sleep, drink it. I sleep with it. So, my dad never got a dime. My dad was a human lab rat, and the cancer in Utah is so heartbreaking. And, you can blame the luxury good of death, Huntsman. I'm still pissed off at him for lying to me. He lied to me this year, John Huntsman did. And I know him. On the SMR fucking disaster in Russia. I collected the data. Well, we need to talk. Of course, he got beat. Fuck. Legislative process is going today. I'd be in there right now today, but COVID-19. We'll get to that. So, I fucking need a new fucking truck, fucking bad. I need a new fucking vehicle that I can get my work done. Well, that ain't gonna happen. I can't even afford a fucking lawnmower. I don't know how I've scraped by. I get about a little over 20 grand a year in funding is what I've gotten. and the 6, 7, 8. I mean, before that, I got nothing. You know, try living. Try fucking the amount of activism, the amount of travel, the place. It's impossible what I've done. Thank you to everybody who has funded it. You know, talk about a crazy path we've walked. So Southern Utah, what, you think it's over? You think it just went away? I think that Spiral Jetty video, speaking of Groundhog Day, I've documented at the Spiral Jetty. You know, that's a hell of a drive out there in that fucked up road. I don't know how the fuck I got out there this year, my old beat piece of shit. I don't know how, but that fucking thing's had it. So, isn't it amazing, that beautiful young woman? I grew up in Blanding. She points her scar right out to me. We call that the Utah smiley face. So my mom and dad would argue with me. Now you think about Southern Utah, how insane they've turned out to be. Burgess Owens from Brooklyn is their representative. They vote out Ben McAdams, who wanted to block open air testing. You know, I helped Ben McAdams write that fucking bill. For nothing. I do all this for free. I give myself away. So, this is not commentary. You know, everybody can babble all they want. I lived in the bone marrow transplant at LDSE State, basically off and on for 5 years. Nuclear medicine? Fuck, I had nuclear. You don't even want to know how much fucking chemo I fucking had in my body. Radiation. When they get there and these people that say the chemo kills you, they're full of fucking shit. When they start that process on you, you're going to die. Don't you understand that? Vincent says it very well, Kevin. Yeah, I know the chemo fucking wore out your teeth, took your gallbladder out, fucking everything, but you know for a fact that chemo, you would have been dead within a few days. It's a Hail Mary. And it's not your father's chemo, so they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. The survival rate of cancer in this fucking country has went, whew. Modern medicine is incredible. I'm living proof. So when I'm in the East 8 LDS Bone Marrow Transplant Center, which is probably the number one, could be the number one in the world, ran by a Danish guy named Fimbo, who used to work at the Luxury Good of Death, the Huntsman. That's what they call it there. It's incredible. It's Danish philosophy medicine. They have the best nurses in the world, all Weber State, slick. I mean, what a unit. What a group of fucking incredible doctors. They take on fucking cases that nobody else would touch. Marshall Jensen was in the room next to me. So here's the fact. And I could prove it. Nancy Peterson was in the room to the left of me. Marshall Jensen to there. You're talking two, probably the 3 most famous leukemia cases in the world. I went in 11 at the same time. You know they both died fucking the same day. She's the number 1 triathlete in the world. I said, well, you know, Nancy, her and I would visit a lot. She battled for years. I mean, in there. She was tough as fuck. I loved her. You know, you moved to Moab to train. You know it's radioactive as hell, and it's a death hell zone. Edward Abbey fucking died of cancer. Oh, from drink? No, he died of cancer. They all do. Southern Utah, Fawn McKay Brody, who I knew, I moved down there, died. You live in Southern Utah, you're going to die. Fucking, you know, it's just the way it is. Everybody does it. They call it the red dust. She says, yeah, I didn't know when I moved there, Kevin. I know now. I learned this, you know, shortly thereafter I got leukemia. Fuck, she was a beast. You go in there, the population of Southern Utah, the region that LDS East State Bone Marrow Transplant Center serves, that incredible unit, which is an award-winning, was under construction when I was in there. The area they serve, Southern Utah, makes up less than 5% of the area they serve. Population. Not geographically, population. Any given day. I used to invite people to go in. You want to go in? Come on. They just proved to me how weak this culture is. They wouldn't go in. Meg and Melissa, who are the most famous massage therapists, fingertip for cancer victims, they went with me. Changed their whole, go talk to either one of them. Changed their whole fucking world. Broke their fucking hearts. I like that Spiral Jetty. I was looking at that photograph of me at the Spiral Jetty. You know, comparing me and her. I mean, think I weighed 126 pounds that day. 126 pounds. My normal weight's 175. It's been a hell of a war. Any day you can go in there, well over 50% of people in there dying of fucking this radical AML leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, acute belastic fucking leukemia are from southern Utah. I can rattle off so many. My beautiful niece's husband, born and raised there, Caleb, 26, died of acute belastic leukemia. I can go on and on and on and on and on. It's a fucking death zone. So they're going to do the documentary. Now, will Coyote say it's still nuclear radiate? So Huntsman started that campaign, Life Elevated. I call it Life Excavated. Now think about it. The luxury of good of death, Huntsman cancer. Well, they're billionaires, multi-billionaires. They invented the styrofoam container. Well, they stole the patent. And Huntsman Chemical is one of the biggest evil fucking mass murderers in the world. Exposure to benzene, and I'll give you some more information on leukemia and these radical deaths. Fallout. You know, Screech died. Santa Susana. What's that in LA? LA's a fucking cancer toxic hellhole like southern Utah. They waited till the wind blew, you know. Oh, it's not genetic? I did all this work in the 90s, these people regurgitating now. Fuck. I fucking in my PhD. Fuck, don't even get me going. I've done so much fucking work, but blackball because Weber State is, well, the state of Utah. They're fucking trading their health for somebody else they never met. It's fucking John Huntsman fucking wealth. He's got me so pissed off right now, and I used to be really good friends with him. You know, hopefully we can make up. You know, maybe he can make things right. Of course, it's spite that I was ever born to set this right. So let's get to COVID. Now, I did a BIS at 16 years old. I was one of those. I used to get straight fucking D's at Weber High School. Why? Because they passed a new fucking law that year when I was a sophomore in high school, right after they told the old Weber High down and they moved it up on the hill, and I hated that fucking school. You know? That attendance mattered. I'm like, fuck you. I get the class high on every fucking test. I'm in the honors program at Weber State at 15 fucking years old. And you're going to fail me? So teachers were like, we're not failing this guy. So Kevin, they negotiated with me. We'll give you a fucking D. You know, we'll probably get in trouble for it. But I graduated 698 in a class of 699. Now, Paul Winchester, who I laid that down there, he and I grew up together. Wendy, you know, his wife, who I grew up together, both dead of cancer so young. Paul grew up at Idaho National Lab. He knew what killed him. You know, he spent 2 hours calming me down when he died. He says, I wish I would have never went to Huntsman, Kevin. They opened me up. You know, yeah, I almost did too. Huntsman is still suing me to this day for $1,300 for a phone call. They says, yeah, you can come down here, but bring us a check for $50,000. The luxury of good death. I will quote the first day I went into LDSC State. You go up to Huntsman, stay in the hotel, the gourmet food, the gourmet chef, stay in those luxury rooms. And this is when fucking LDS was a shithole. And die. You come in here, our food ain't so good, and our fucking, well, we charge fucking hotel prices, but exclusive hotel, but this place is not comfortable. But you just might live. Fimbo walks into my room, and he's an anti-nuker. Vincent Hansen, who saved my life, is an anti-nuker. Without my anti-nuker activism, I'd be dead. She's known me since I was a kid. The president of the Mormon Church, the heart surgeon, my uncle, and he were partners. You know, my path goes so fucking deep, it's incredible. Walks into my room, and he says, Kevin, you have AML de Nouveau. Vincent finally figured it out. It's radical. We have to send these out because Silverman, they went in there and punctured. I had tumors wrapped around my bowel, misdiagnosed me, sent me out. My bowel almost ruptured. That's cancer that presents in tumors. He says the survival rate is this extremely fucking low. I found this study in South Korea. I reached into my bag and I threw it down. I says, oh, you mean that study? He says, yeah, I know nothing gets by you. He says, I can probably buy you a couple years of life. You know, we can do this and you be alive for 2 years, but then you're going to pass away. And, you know, you get your life in order or whatever. Or we can take a chance. And we can fucking gamble. And, you know, the odds are not all that great, but if it happens to work and I got a hunch on you, so does Vincent got a hunch on you, you could live to be an old man. Without hesitation. I says, all in. He says, I knew you'd say that. So we know I'm in the 1% study. We know that 1% survivors, the common denominator is risk takers. I've always taken way too much risk. All in. I was born with a bad heart murmur, and I was, think about that, a distance runner with a heart murmur. I used to have to run against Ed Stone himself. Think about that. Me and him going at it. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. He ran for T.H. Bell, I ran for Walquist. He ran for fucking Bonneville, I ran for Weber. Fucking bad coaches. I hated those fucking coaches except for, I mean, there were some horrible coaches that abused the shit out of me. You know, mentally, I look back on Lamar Hershey, what a fucking piece of shit. Hope he fucking rots in hell. What he did to me. I was the anchor leg on the medley relay. I ran at the fucking BYU's, the Nathan Barker meet. That's the #1 ninth grader meet in the country. I didn't feel good that fucking day, and I still ran fucking 6th in the country. Of course, I think Ed won it. So, he's a gem. I love that guy. He's the BYU track coach. He's the Olympic marathon. I'm in his ear about boycotting the Olympics. So, Einstein said he felt the Spanish flu was a byproduct of the nerve gassing in the trenches. Now, his colleague, who talked him into writing the letter to FDR, who flew to Long Island, who fought with him, Einstein was a peace activist like me. He was a Quaker. The intuitive mind. I had a dream when I was an 11-year-old boy. He said there was no doubt in his mind that Spanish flu was a mutation that was brought home from the trenches in World War II. Now, Ogden paid a big price, you know, of course, Browning arms, the machine gun. His colleague says, no, the nerve gassing, which, by the way, it's irony, the nerve gas is here in Utah. Dugway, you fucking sheep. It's another reason I need a fucking car. I got to get my fucking work done in the fucking Nevada test site, and I'm trying to block the waste coming into Utah and Dolly Parton. They want to give her a mastectomy. That's my next goal. I got to block that. You know, of course, my biggest goal is Santa Fe getting the waste in the dry canister. That's my work because they fought me and not going to happen. I accomplished it. We accomplished, well, those workers. Without me, that never happens. It's a major, 30 years ahead of schedule. Hundreds of $1 million under freaking budget. Oh, the nuclear industry is not happy. No wonder they've attacked me. I've got no views. And you think about it. My view count, my rhetoric has not changed one iota. When I used to get 30,000, 40,000, 30,000, 20,000, 50,000, 200,000 views a video. Now I get 200 and I have not changed one fucking iota. What's changed? YouTube. You know? That's why I hate Trump so bad. He killed net neutrality and he was a big hardcore pro-nuclear. Fuck Trump. I hate that fucker. I hate that fucker. Anybody still on his knees for that fucker is a dumb fucking useful idiot. His words. Oh, I hate that guy. I hate Obama. I mean, what they did, Fukushima, they both belong in prison. These are the greatest crimes in human history. So Einstein said there was no doubt in mind it was a mutation from the fucking nerve gas. Kansas flu, Nebraska. So they sent out my sample in my gut. They backdoored it, and he says, we've got to figure. They wanted to go back in me, and Finbo's like, he'll die. Celeste in the East 8 was there for 26 years. One day I walk in there, and she's a Manhattan girl, secretary in the clinic. She says, Kevin, come here. I got to tell you something. I'm so fucking proud of you. I prepared your paperwork when you came in, you know. We rank you. You know, 1 to 10. And once you get up to the 10, then we rank, you know, on a color scar. The very deadliest, we rank what we call red 10. You're the only red 10 I've ever seen. I prepared your paperwork when you came in. I fully prepared. I had your paperwork ready to fucking go that week out in a body bag. What you've done, and she had a long talk with me. She says, I'm getting ready to retire and I want you to know this. Your activism, your fight, what you have accomplished in here, you know, and you said to me one day, I'm doing this because I want to raise my grandkids. I want them to know my grandpa. She says, what you've accomplished is fucking incredible. Long, ugly fight. Walking the coach of California with pay the counts of 38. No funding. Still don't have any fucking real funding. You know, they're not going to fund me. That's okay. You know, I'll walk. I used to walk 10 miles. Fucking. Right here, from out here. There's no bus out here. Car's broke. I like a guy, he sent me a car. Oh, I got an old beat up piece of shit car. Fucking, I'm driving down the road, the fucking tire come off. That's the feel good fucking activists. You know, the people that have funded me and the small group that we have, they're amazing. You know, I love you guys. Without you, I'd be dead. So, this is my point with COVID. Einstein said there's no doubt that this mutation, Spanish flu, was man-made mutation through nerve gas. That was Einstein's words, mutation. He says we're going to get more of these from nuclear fallout. There's no doubt in my mind COVID is a mutation that started with the Fukushima disaster. In the wet market, there's no doubt in my mind that it came from the fucking wet market. You know, did the bat eat it, whatever? The virus obviously jumped from the animal to the person. You know, Einstein, when he came to Long Island, wrote that letter. He says, the biggest mistake of my entire fucking life. He talked me into it, and I wrote that letter to FDR. And they turned up the faucet on the Manhattan Project. By the way, they never turned it off. You know, Dana went on this fucking rant, you know. I got to get him up to speed on some stuff. My God. You know, some of he's babbling off about fucking Senator. I'm like, Senator Offer's been shut down for 8 fucking years. It's in dry cast. Fucking Southern Utah, fuck, I live it. But nobody's going to fund me. It ain't fucking real money. I've learned my lesson well. A man could tell 1,000 fucking lies. Fucking as I live to tell. Too blind to see the writing on the wall. I was not ready for the fall. It's been ugly for 10 years. It's been Groundhog Day every fucking day. The mutation from the sea. So we're just going to chalk it up. Nobody believed me that the tide pools were dead. The tide pools have collapsed 99% post. This is the greatest ecological catastrophe fucking in human history. The last 10 years. This Groundhog Day for 3,616 days. We're going to chalk it up. The salmon collapse. Salmon have not been going down for years, and everybody falls into that. Scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're puzzled, they're stumped, they're perplexed, they're bewildered. I'm a real scientist. First you hypothesize the knowledge. This is a gas. This is a vapor. These are full-blown. It took me a year and a half to convince anybody this was one fucking meltdown. There's a full-blown out meltdown. They're pushing in the sea. This fucking vapor, this plasma, which I named Fukushima, is going to go into the sea. The storms are going to rise up. They're going to fucking cause a drought in the western United States. The Great Salt Lake's going to go fucking dry. That young woman with her smiley face out of the spiral jetty this year. The before and after that fucking video should have fucking tens of thousands because it blows the state of Utah's fucking lies up that this has been going on for years. My salmon work blows their lies up. Fucking, I'm classified by the Army Corps Engineers. Their live cam's been out for 7 years. They go from record returns. Right at Fukushima. Fucking down 90 fucking percent. The wells are on the upswing. They're fucking increasing by fucking 10, 15% a year. They crash post Fukushima. The fires of Fukushima, when the atmosphere actually catches fire and burns. But we're going to chalk it up. Chalk it up! Okay. Kevin Blanche, this is the greatest PhD in fucking human history. There's fucking no doubt. I've been dead on, and I fucking hypothesize every word I've said. There's no doubt in my mind that fucking COVID-19 is a mutation. Einstein was right the whole time. He was not a great mathematician, but Einstein fucking had something figured out. So do I. I had this figured out as a young child. It's like my cancer. Kevin, intuitive mind. I had a dream when I was an 11-year-old boy. Right before I got sick, I had this dream in August 2011. All that stock I had, all that money I was making, I was fucking out in the energy solutions dump site, and I walked into the casino out there, and I don't play slot machines. And there was this fucking slot machine, and I looked in my pocket. I had no money, and I had like some change, and I put my change in the slot machine, and it won $12. $12.12, which is my favorite number now. So I took the voucher, there was this giant fucking slot machine, giant. I put it in there and pushed it once, and it had 6 icons across it. And it looked like this ugly clam thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it went 44. Devoto 44. And money started flowing out. First it was 1,000. Then 1,000,000. Then 10 million. Then 100 million. Then it was the most utopic dream I've ever fucking had. And I woke up. I told my doctor, because I know philosophy. And I know Danish philosophy. They believe the intuitive mind will tell you everything. You listen to your fucking dreams. So I told Vincent that dream after they wanted to cut me open. They misdiagnosed me. Fucking these doctors tried to fucking kill me. I told Vincent the fucking dream. I told fucking Fimbo. Fimbo says, I remember walking into my room. He says, Kevin, I believe in you. You're the anti-nuclear activist. I believe in you. This is the number one out of college. I'm not in this for the money. Never would. I could make 10 times fucking doing what I do, somewhere else. I could, my uncle at the Mayo Clinic. I said, I'm going to the Mayo Clinic. I have some money. No, you're not. You're going to the top of LDS with Fimbo. Thank God I did. Don't you let go of that fucking dream. My little granddaughter brought me a little rock. She was a little teeny baby. She bought this blue rock. I don't even know where she got it. Here, Grandpa. I said, what the hell's that? That's her little intuitive mind. I've had it in my pocket ever since. I hold on to it. Going in and out of a coma in there. So they send the biopsy out to 200 labs to try to backdoor it. The old biopsy that they had wrong because it was put in the wrong dish. I don't know if we'll ever be able to figure it out now because they tainted the sample. They got a hit. The same place where Spanish flu showed up in fucking the United States, the University of Nebraska, in their cattle fucking study. They got a hit. And they're like, Vincent Hansen and Fimbo's intuitive mind were right. You were right, Kevin. I hypothesized that it was fucking my background. I watched Annika die of this disease. I watched my dad, Utah, down winders. I fucking ate, slept, drink it. I lived it. You were right. It's AML leukemia de novo. Vincent had it right. I have 13 bone marrow biopsies. 13. I says, Screech talked about before he died the pain of the type of cancer he had. Inside the bone marrow transplant, they have a list, your pain level, 1 to 10. Then they have above 10, they have a person screaming, and they says, AML leukemia, cancer pain, whole nother level. You don't even fucking want to know. You don't want to know how fucking painful this has been. Jumping through tide pools with a Feldorf valve. So painful in there. I mean, it's wicked. It's fucking wicked. I mean, it's intense. Central line hanging in there. You don't sleep for fucking months. It's incredible. It's beyond spiritual. You don't even know. I mean, you go in and out of a coma. Angels coming to you while you're dead. Fucking come back alive, dead. It's been 10 years of hardcore because I was too sick for a bone marrow transplant. So I decided to walk the sea. This story's so epic. Plutonium, it's a gas. It's a plasma that went in. When it actually catches the fucking, burns your house down in California, you still won't listen. Fucking cancer rates have gone psychotic. Cure rates have gone way up. So they're getting better at this. I had the mushroom, the new experiment. Again, Kevin, we can experiment. There's a guy named Brian Morse who was in front of me. They sent him to die, and he's still alive, by the way. What a story. 9 years it came back on him. He had a transplant, didn't work. He had a stem cell from his fucking son, Winston. And they juiced it. He's alive. I don't know how. He's a tough motherfucker. Old linebacker at the University of Utah. Salt Lake boy. Fucking native Utah boy like me. Downwinders. So you're going to do the documentary, talk about the cover-up. So the nuclear fallout that's there, that girl with the smiley face. How beautiful. She's, my mom and dad would argue. She says, I knew where it came from. I grew up in Blanding, Utah. Uranium tailings, uranium mines, open air fucking tests. And you dumb fuckers in southern Utah want to kill yourselves. Burgess Owens was all for it, and Trump restarted testing that. So anybody who claims they're an anti-nuclear activist that still supports Obama or Trump, fuck off. Fucking quit wasting my fucking time, you fucking dogma slurper. And get in your fucking Snuggie and leave me the fuck alone. And I've learned I'm going to get no funding. I get that any real funding. I got these small fucking group of people that do, and we get by, right? We get by. We scrape fucking by. Run on fucking empty on fumes. Alls we hear is Radio Goo Goo. Radio Lady Gaga. Radio Goo Goo Dolls. I love that fucking song. Reminds me of my dad. Reminds me of Annika. Feels like heaven. Come back down and I won't tell him your name. Scars are souvenirs. Stay in tuning. Groundhog Day. For Kevin Blanche I'm happy to be alive. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who's helped save my life. Thank you. I fucking won't forget. I'll never forget. I defend my fucking role as the activist. Any activist that really accomplishes anything, turn us into Black Lives Matters and go fucking take your fucking billions and your millions and all your fucking money that you fucking raised and fucking blow it and fucking stick it right up your fucking ass. Fucking greenwashing machine fucks. Stay tuned.